Captain Jake Morrison sat in his command chair aboard the EU's Horizon, gazing at the stars through the main viewing screen. After 12 years exploring space, the vast beauty of the cosmos still filled him with awe. The ship moved steadily through the dark expanse between star systems, far from Earth and any human colonies. The Horizon wasn't built for war, it was a vessel designed for exploration and scientific discovery. Jake's crew of 43 spent their days charting unknown star systems and searching for planets that might one day support human life. It was peaceful work, though sometimes monotonous. Jake glanced around the bridge. Lisa Park was at the navigation station, her fingers dancing over the controls as she plotted their next course. At 28, she was the best pilot Jake had ever worked with. Ben Davis, 35, stood near engineering, meticulously checking the ship's systems. He could fix nearly anything that broke. Katie Webb manned communications, constantly scanning for signals from deep space or Earth. "Captain," Katie's voice broke through, tinged with excitement. "We're picking up something unusual on the long-range sensors." Jake turned toward her. "What kind of unusual?" Katie frowned, staring at her screen. "It looks like a distress signal, but it's not in any human language. The computer is working on translating it." Jake felt a surge of curiosity. In all of humanity's years in space, they'd never detected any sign of alien life. Scientists on Earth believed extraterrestrials existed somewhere in the galaxy, but it was so vast that finding them seemed nearly impossible. "Can you clean up the signal?" Jake asked. Katie's fingers flew across her controls. "It's very weak. It's traveled a long way to reach us." Ben came over to see the readout. "How far away is it coming from?" Katie checked again. "About 200 light-years. The signal took 2 centuries to reach us." Jake's heart quickened. 200 light-years was a vast distance, but with their new faster-than-light engines, it was reachable. If this really is an alien signal, it could change everything for humanity. "Got it," Katie said abruptly as the computer finished its translation. The bridge fell silent. Everyone stopped their work, eyes on Katie. "What does it say?" Jake asked. Katie read aloud from the screen. "To anyone who can hear this message, we are the Zelatari Republic. We are under attack. Our worlds are dying. We have tried to contact the Guardians, but they do not respond. If anyone receives this, please help us. We do not have much time. Our children are in danger. Please, if you can hear this, help us." The room was heavy with silence. Jake felt a cold knot form in his stomach. These aliens, whoever they were desperate. "Is there more?" he asked. Katie nodded. "There are star charts attached. Their home system is called Zelatari Prime." Lisa looked up from navigation. "Captain, those coordinates are just 3 days away at maximum warp speed." Jake stood and moved to the center of the bridge. This was the most critical decision of his career. Protocol demanded he contact Earth Command and wait for orders, but that could take weeks, given the distance. The alien message sounded urgent. "Katie, when was this message sent?" Jake asked. Katie rechecked the data. "Based on signal decay, it was transmitted about 6 months ago. But remember, it took 200 years to reach us." Ben approached Jake, concern etched on his face. "Captain, if they were in trouble 6 months ago, they might already be gone." Jake nodded slowly. "That's possible. But what if they're still alive, still fighting, still waiting for help that might never come?" "Lisa, how long would it take to get a message to Earth Command and back with their orders?" Lisa did quick mental math. "About 3 weeks each. Weighs 6 weeks total." "That's too long. If they're still alive, 6 weeks could be the difference between saving them or finding empty worlds." Jake made his choice. Set course for the Zelatari system. Maximum warp speed. Lisa looked surprised. "Captain, shouldn't we contact Earth first?" "We'll send a message on the way," Jake replied. "But if these people are alive, They need help now. We're the closest humans who can do something. Ben looked uneasy. We don't know anything about these aliens, or who's attacking them, or how dangerous it might be. Jake understood his concern. The Horizon wasn't a warship. If there was a battle waiting, they might be outmatched. You're right, Jake said. But we're explorers. Our job is to venture where no human has gone before, and learn what we can. This is the most important discovery in human history. Katie spoke up from her station. Captain, I'm detecting more signals from that region. Different types, some look like military transmissions. Can you translate those? Jake asked. We're working on it, Katie said, her face palling as she read. These signals are much newer, maybe only a few days old. The war is still ongoing. Jake's decision was cemented. Somewhere out there, an alien species was fighting for survival. They might lose. They might already be gone. But humanity had to try. All hands, Jake announced over the ship's comm system. We've received a distress call from an alien species. We are altering course to investigate and offer assistance. This is a historic moment for humanity. We face it together. The Horizon turned toward Zelatari Prime and jumped to warp speed. None aboard knew they were heading toward a battle that would reshape the galaxy. They didn't know Earth was considered a death world by many, too harsh for most life to survive. They were just humans, doing what humans do when someone needs help. 3 days later, the U's Horizon dropped out of warp at the edge of the Zelatari system. What Jake saw on the main screen made his blood run cold. The system was crowded with massive alien ships, hanging in space around a blue-green planet like dark, metallic clouds. Each ship was enormous, bigger than any human building Jake had ever seen. They looked alive somehow, with curved surfaces and what appeared to be breathing vents along their sides. My God, Lisa whispered, from her navigation station. Lisa asked, how many ships are there? Katie worked quickly at the communication console. I count over 300 vessels, Captain. They're arranged in a blockade formation around the planet. Ben studied the engineering readings. These ships are enormous. The largest are over 2 miles long. They're not made of metal like our ships, the sensors say. They're biological. Jake stared at the alien fleet in disbelief. Biological? You mean they're alive? Not alive in the usual sense, Ben explained. They're grown, not built. Like giant living creatures, transformed into warships. Suddenly, Katie's station began beeping rapidly. Captain, I'm receiving multiple signals. The planet is trying to contact us, and so are the blockade ships. Put the planet through first, Jake ordered. The main screen shifted to display an alien face. Jake tried to mask his surprise. The alien was tall and slender, with smooth, color-shifting skin that shimmered like oil on water. Its eyes were large and multifaceted, resembling those of an insect, but intelligent and kind, dash-looking dot as it spoke. The ship's computer translated its words into English. Unknown vessel. This is Prime Coordinator of the Zelatari Republic. We do not recognize your ship design. Are you the Guardians we called for help? Jake stood up. This was humanity's first contact with an alien species. He wanted to make a good impression. Prime Coordinator Valtor, I am Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earthship Horizon. We are humans from Earth. We received your distress signal and have come to assist. The alien's colors brightened. Humans, we have never heard of your species before, but you came to help us. Yes, we received your message. Please tell us what is happening. The alien's skin shifted to darker shades. We are under siege by the Core Empire. They have blockaded our world for 60 days, demanding our surrender. We know if we give in, they will kill us all. They have already destroyed 12 of our colonies. Before Jake could respond, Katie called out urgently, Captain, the blockade ships are trying to contact us. The signal is very strong. Put them through, Jake ordered. The screen changed, revealing a very different alien. This one resembled a giant insect crossed with a shark. Its dark, spiny skin bristled with sharp protrusions, and its long teeth looked deadly. When it spoke, its voice was deep and menacing. Small ship, you do not belong here. I am War Alpha, Vecmer, of the Korik Empire. Surrender immediately, or be destroyed. Jake felt the tension rise among his crew behind him. This alien was clearly hostile and attempting to intimidate them. War Alpha Vecmer, Jake replied calmly. I am Captain Morrison. We are on a peaceful mission to aid the alien's eyes narrowed. The Zealotari are our prey. They will surrender or die. You will not interfere. Your ship is small and weak. Leave now or join them in death. Anger welled up inside Jake. He had encountered bullies before and this was no different. We're not leaving. The Zealotari asked for help, and we intend to provide it. The alien made a harsh sound, perhaps a laugh. Your ship is tiny compared to ours. We have 300 warships. You have only one. Do you not understand numbers? Ben leaned over and whispered to Jake, Captain, he's right about the numbers. Jake whispered back, but I've been studying. They're ships. They're huge, but they might not be as tough as they seem. What do you mean? Ben whispered. These biological ships are built differently, Jake explained quietly. They're designed for intimidation and long battles, but not for the kind of damage our ships can withstand. Also, look how slow and careful they move. Jake thought about this. Human ships were engineered to survive Earth's harsh environment, gravity, violent weather. Maybe that toughness would give them an edge here. Katie interrupted the conversation. Captain, I'm intercepting communications between the Korak ships. The computer is translating. What are they saying? Jake asked. Katie frowned, puzzled by the content. They're talking about us, Katie said, her voice tense. But they sound confused. They keep saying they've never seen a ship like ours before. They're also talking about our planet calling it impossible. The computer keeps translating a word as Deathworld. They think Earth is too dangerous for any life to survive. Jake glanced back at the screen, where the alien was waiting for a response. The alien's expression was confident, as if used two other species running from its threats. War Alpha, Jake said firmly. We humans don't abandon those who ask for our help. We're staying. The alien's expression shifted from surprise to anger. You choose death, it spat. Very well. You will learn why the galaxy fears the Korak. The screen went dark. Immediately, Katie's station erupted with alarms. Captain, 3 Korak ships are moving toward us. They're smaller than the big ones, but still much larger than us. Jake sat down firmly in his command chair. All hands, battle stations. This is not a drill. Lisa looked at him nervously. Captain, are we really going to fight them? Jake watched the 3 enemy ships on the screen. They moved slowly, as if they had all the time in the universe, confident they would win. Lisa, Jake said, in all of human history, when someone asks us for help against bullies, what do? Lisa smiled. We help them fight. That's right, Jake agreed. Ben, what's the status of our weapons? Ben checked his instruments. All systems ready, Captain. Our mining lasers can be repurposed as weapons, and the construction drones can be converted into fighters. Jake nodded. The Horizon wasn't a warship, but it was a human ship built to survive anything Earth could throw at it. Katie, send a message to the Zealotari. Tell them the cavalry has arrived. The 3 Korak ships advanced, confident in their size and power. They had no idea they were about to face someone from a death world. The ships moved like giant predators stalking prey. Each was 5 times longer than the human vessel, covered in sharp spines, glowing with energy. They approached slowly, as if this was routine, distance to enemy ships. Jake asked. 50,000 kilometers in closing, Lisa reported. There. Moving slowly, maybe half our top speed, she added. Lieutenant Commander Alex Stone, the tactical officer, studied the incoming vessels. Captain, their weapons are charging. I can see energy building along their spines. Jake watched carefully. Something about their approach felt off. They expected the horizon to run, or surrender. Ben, what can you tell me about their ships? Ben worked quickly at engineering. Like I said, biological, but very different from ours. Look at their hull thickness. Ben displayed the data on the main screen. Their hulls are strong but lightweight. They probably come from a planet with low gravity. Our hull is 3 times thicker to handle Earth's gravity and atmospheric pressure. Katie looked up from communications. Captain, I'm intercepting their battle chatter. They're confused. We haven't fled yet. One's asking if we understand what's happening. Another says all species run when they see Korrick warships. A cold smile spread across Jake's face. They expect us to run. Sounds like it, Katie agreed. They've never faced anyone who stays to fight. Alex checked the weapon systems. Captain, we have 4 mining lasers ready to convert to weapons and 12 construction drones that can be armed. Do it, Jake ordered, but hold fire until I give the command. At 20,000 kilometers, the Korrick ships finally opened fire. Bright green energy beams shot from their spines, reaching toward the horizon. Incoming fire, Alex shouted. Evasive maneuvers, Jake ordered. Lisa's hands flew over the controls. The horizon twisted and dived, performing moves impossible for most ships. It had been designed to navigate Earth's chaotic orbital debris, where one wrong move meant destruction. The Korrick beams missed completely. Jake heard surprised noises from the enemy communications Katie was monitoring. They're not used to targets that move like this, Lisa called out. Their beams are powerful, but slow. The horizon spun and rolled, dodging the slow energy weapons with ease. Jake realized something crucial. The Korrick expected enemies to run or fight in straight lines. They had never faced anyone moving unpredictably. Alex, target the lead ship. Fire the mining lasers. 4 bright blue beams shot from the horizon, designed to cut through solid rock and metal. When they struck the first Korrick ship, the beams burned right through its biological hull. Screams filled the enemy communications. Channel. Jake watched as the Korrick vessel started leaking atmosphere and spun out of control. Direct hit, Alex reported. Their hull is weaker than I thought. Katie, what are they saying now? Katie listened intently. They're panicking, Captain. They keep asking how we hurt them so badly. They say our weapons shouldn't penetrate their armor. The second Korrick ship fired again, but Lisa was ready. She flew the horizon through a stunning series of rolls and twists, while continuing to fire. Ben monitored the ship's systems. Hull integrity at 100%. Their energy weapons can't penetrate our armor. Jake understood now. The Korrick ships were designed to fight enemies from peaceful garden worlds. Planets where life was easy and safe. They had never met anything built to survive a death world. Alex launched the construction drones, programming them for attack pattern Delta 12. 12 small drones shot out from the horizon, designed to repair hull damage in dangerous environments. They were fast and deadly. The drones were heavily armored and equipped with cutting tools and mining charges. Thanks to Alex's programming, they swarmed toward the second Korrick ship, like angry wasps. The enemy fired at them, but the drones were too fast and too small to hit. Katie, are you still monitoring their communications? Yes, Captain. They're extremely confused. They keep saying this is impossible and asking what kind of species we are. The construction drones reached the second Korrick ship and began slicing through its hull. The biological armor that protected it from energy weapons couldn't withstand physical cutting tools designed for Earth's harsh conditions. The enemy vessel started losing power and began to drift. Screams of panic echoed through the communication channels. Jake looked at the third Korek ship. It had stopped advancing and was now turning away. "Captain," Alex reported, "the third ship is retreating." "Let it go," Jake ordered. "Katie, open a communication channel to all Korek ships in the system." The main screen showed War Alpha Vecmer again. The alien looked shocked and angry. "This is impossible," Vecmer spat. "You are from a small, unknown species. How did you destroy our ships?" On the main screen, the Zealotari Prime Coordinator Velter appeared. His colors were brighter than Jake had ever seen them. "Humans," Velter said, "the Zealotari Republic owes you a debt that can never be repaid. You have saved not just our world, but given hope to every peaceful species in the galaxy." Jake looked out at the disabled Korek fleet drifting in space, some still smoking. A reminder of the fierce battle fought and won. Some Korek ships were already being boarded by Marines, while others struggled to limp back toward their home territory. Admiral Jake asked, "What happens now?" Hayes smiled. "Now, we build a fleet base here and teach our new allies how to defend themselves. The galaxy has just learned that bullies can be stopped." From his vantage point, Jake saw the blue-green world of Zealotari Prime, finally free from the blockade that had once threatened its destruction. But more importantly, he witnessed the dawn of something new, a hope, unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. 6 months after the Battle of Zealotari Prime, Captain Jake Morrison stood on the observation deck of the newly established human fleet base orbiting the planet. Through the expansive windows, he watched ships from dozens of alien species come and go. The base had become the busiest hub in this region of space. No longer just a ship captain, Jake had been appointed the Zealotari Republic's first human ambassador. His role was to coordinate defense efforts across multiple star systems afar, cry from the quiet exploration missions he had once undertaken, but infinitely more important. "Ambassador Morrison," a voice called from behind. Jake turned to see Commander Katie Webb approaching, promoted for her outstanding work during the crisis. Katie now managed all communications between human forces and alien governments. "What's the latest news, Katie?" Jake asked. "Good news and bad news, sir. The good news is that 12 more species have requested to join our defense alliance. The bad news: 3 more Korek fleets have been spotted heading toward different systems." Jake nodded, accepting the now familiar pattern. Humanity's victory had spread like wildfire across the galaxy, inspiring species long oppressed by the Korek Empire to believe resistance was possible. But the Korek were not ready to concede defeat. "Where are the new Korek fleets headed?" Jake inquired. Katie checked her datapad. "The Vandy system, the Telos colonies, and an area known as the Crystal Gardens, all peaceful species that have never faced war before." "How many human ships can we send to help?" Jake asked. "Admiral Hayes has 42 ships available, plus Marine units trained for boarding operations. But that's not nearly enough to defend 3 systems simultaneously." Jake smiled. "Katie, 6 months ago, we had just 1 exploration ship. Now, we have 42 warships and allies across hundreds of star systems. We're doing better than anyone expected." In truth, humanity had surprised even itself. When Earth Command first received Jake's reports of alien war, they anticipated sending a rescue mission for the Horizon's crew. Instead, they found themselves assembling the largest space fleet in human history and teaching alien species how to fight. "Prime Coordinator is here to see you," Katie said, "and someone from the Galactic Council." The Galactic Council was a loose federation of peaceful species who had tried for millennia to organize resistance against aggressive empires with little success. Most members were simply too pacifistic to fight effectively. Jake walked to his office, where Velter awaited him, accompanied by an alien Jake had never seen before. The newcomer looked like a cross between a bird and a fish, adorned with colorful feathers and large, intelligent eyes. Ambassador Morrison Veltor greeted warmly, his colors shifting to happy shades. "This is Council Representative Keftos from the Yuns of the Unified Galactic Council. He has traveled far to meet with you." Keftos spoke in a musical voice, translated by the computer into English. "Ambassador, the Council has observed your species with great interest. We have a proposal." "What kind of proposal?" "We wish to create a new military alliance and organization dedicated to protecting peaceful worlds from aggressive empires, and we want humanity to lead it." Jake was taken aback. "Lead it? But we've only been in space for a few hundred years, while many of your species have traveled between stars for thousands." Keftos let out a sound that might have been laughter. "Ambassador, in 6 months your species has accomplished more than the Council has in 6,000 years. You have shown the galaxy that the Korok can be defeated and, more importantly, how to defeat them." "How do you mean?" Belter answered. "Before you arrived, every species believed resistance. Too overwhelming force was hopeless. Faced with 1,000 enemy ships, they saw certain death and surrendered or fled. But humans do something different." "What's that?" "You fight harder when the odds are against you." Keftos nodded. "Your species has given the galaxy something it never had before: hope. Species enslaved for centuries are now rising up. The Korok Empire is losing control of dozens of systems because their subjects believe freedom is possible." Jake considered this. "What exactly would this alliance do?" "We would share technology, coordinate defenses, and train peaceful species to protect themselves," Keftos explained. "Most importantly, no species would ever fight alone against aggressors again." Katie's communicator beeped. She listened, then smiled. "Sir, Admiral Hayes reports the Verandi successfully repelled a Korok attack using the tactics we taught them. Casualties were minimal." Jake smiled broadly. The Verandi, a small furry species resembling children's stuffed animals, had seemed incapable of fighting just 6 months earlier. "How did they win?" Jake asked. "Hit-and-run tactics," Katie replied. "Colonel Price taught them to use small, fast ships striking from unexpected angles. The Korok couldn't adapt." Belter's colors brightened. "This is exactly what we hoped for. The Verandi learned they don't have to be big and scary to win, they only need to be smart and brave." Jake gazed out his office window at the bustling space station. Ships from dozens of species were docked, their crews learning human military tactics and sharing their own technologies. It was like a university, for war fought to protect peace. "Representative Keftos," Jake said, "I'll need to discuss this with Earth Command, but I believe humanity would be honored to lead this alliance." Keftos responded with cheerful chirps. "Excellent. We've already chosen a name, the Deathworld Alliance." Deathworld Alliance. "Your planet Earth is classified as a Class 12, Deathworld," Keftos explained. "The most dangerous category imaginable. Most species consider such worlds uninhabitable. But you didn't just survive, thrived and grew stronger because of it." Jake finally understood. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their weapons or technology, but their attitude. They had learned on Earth that survival meant fighting back against anything that tried to kill you, no matter how big or scary. Katie's device beeped again. "We're receiving a distress signal from the far edge of the galaxy. The men are under attack by the Wraith Empire." Jake looked at Katie, then at his alien guests. 6 months ago, I was exploring empty space, looking for planets to colonize," he said. "Now, I'm helping organize the defense of the entire galaxy. Katie, contact Admiral Hayes. Tell him to prepare the entire fleet." "All of it," Jake smiled. "All of it." The Deathworld Alliance has its first mission. Outside his window, human ships began moving into battle formation. Soon, they would jump to faster than light speed and race across the galaxy to aid a species they had never met against an enemy they knew nothing about. And that was exactly what humans did best. Jake stood tall. War Alpha, we come from what you call a death world. Every day on our planet, we face dangers that would kill most species in the galaxy. We don't run from fights. Vecmer's expression shifted to something resembling fear. Death world. That's impossible. No intelligent life can survive on a death world. Jake replied firmly. We didn't just survive. We learned to thrive. And now, we're here to help the Zalatarii. The alien's voice wavered. You defeated 3 of our ships, but we have 300. You cannot win. Jake smiled. War Alpha, you made a mistake. You expected us to fear you. We don't fear you, we're angry. And that's a big difference. Ben leaned in to whisper, Captain, I'm detecting movement across their fleet. They're all communicating. Katie nodded. Their communications are frantic. They're all asking about Deathworlders. Some sound scared. Jake gazed at the massive enemy fleet on the screen. 300 ships against 1. The odds were impossible by any reasonable calculation. But Jake Morrison was from Earth. He had studied human history and knew humans, had a long tradition of fighting impossible odds and winning. War Alpha, Jake said, I'll give you one chance. Leave this system now and never return. If you stay, we'll show you what Deathworlders can really do. The communication channel went silent. Jake could almost see the alien thinking, trying to comprehend how a single small ship had destroyed 3 of his vessels so easily. The horizon waited in space, tiny compared to the huge fleet. But Jake knew something the Korek didn't. Sometimes the most dangerous things come in small packages. 2 days after Jake's ultimatum, new ships appeared at the edge of the Zalatarii system, but these weren't Korek vessels. They were human ships arriving from Earth. Weapons ready. Admiral Richard Hayes led the small Earth fleet aboard the UES Titan. With him came the UES Storm, UES Defiant, and 3 support ships carrying Marines. The new arrivals brought humanities. Total force to 7 ships against the Korek's 300. Jake felt a wave of relief as he watched the human fleet take position near his ship. Admiral Hayes appeared on the communication screen, a man with gray hair, kind eyes, and a strong voice. Captain Morrison, I got your message about first contact. Earth Command sent us as fast as we could. Hayes looked at the massive Korek fleet on his screen. That's a lot of enemy ships. Yes, sir, Jake said, but they're not as tough as they look. We've already destroyed 3 of them. Hayes smiled. I saw the battle recordings you sent. Very impressive work. Now, let's see what we can do with a proper fleet. Meanwhile, the Korek also received reinforcements. Hundreds of new ships arrived, swelling their fleet to over 1,000 vessels. At the head was the largest ship anyone had ever seen, a massive biological creature that looked like it could swallow planets whole. Katie monitored the alien communications. Captain, the big ship is commanded by someone called Grand War Alpha Morek. He's furious about what happened to the other ships. The main screen showed the new Korek leader. He was even more terrifying than Vecmer, with scars covering his face and cybernetic parts replacing some of his natural body. Morek's voice was like thunder. You have embarrassed the Korek Empire for this. Your entire species will be destroyed. Surrender now, and we will kill you quickly. Admiral Hayes took over the communication. Grand War Alpha, I am Admiral Hayes of the Earth Fleet. We don't surrender, and we don't abandon our friends. Morek laughed a sound like breaking glass. Your friends, the Zalatarii, are prey animals. They exist only to feed us. You will learn your place in the food chain. Hayes replied calmly. Actually, I think you're about to learn something about humans. The human fleet moved into battle formation. Jake watched in amazement as the Earth ships arranged themselves in complex patterns he had never seen before. They spread out in 3 dimensions, using the asteroid belt around the system as cover. Colonel Sandra Price led 300 Marines from the support ships. Her voice came over the fleet communication channel. "Admiral, Marines are ready for boarding operations." "Boarding operations?" Jake asked. "We're going to board their ships," Hayes said. "The Korok think they're the scariest things in the galaxy," Jake said. "Let's show them what Marines from a death world can do in close combat." The battle began when Morik ordered his entire fleet to attack. Over 1,000 Korok ships surged forward, filling space with green energy weapons fire that looked like lightning strikes. But the human ships moved like dancers. They spun and rolled through enemy fire, using tactics learned from Earth's most dangerous battles. Admiral Hayes had studied every war in human history and he used that knowledge now. "All ships, execute pattern storm," Hayes ordered. The human fleet split apart and reformed in ways that completely confused the Korok. They attacked from above and below, from angles the aliens had never seen before. The Korok ships were designed to fight in straight lines, but humans fought in 3 dimensions. Jake's ship joined the attack, using its mining lasers to cut through enemy hulls. But now, he had support. The UES Storm fired weapons designed to crack asteroids. The UES Defiant used electromagnetic pulses to shut down the Korok's biological systems. The most impressive was the UES Titan, Admiral Hayes' flagship carried weapons capable of destroying entire moons. When it fired, whole sections of the enemy fleet simply disappeared. The real surprise came when Colonel Price's Marines began boarding damaged Korok vessels. The aliens expected their size and appearance to intimidate the boarders into surrender. Instead, they faced humans evolved. From Hunters. Katie monitored the boarding operations through marine communication channels. "Captain, you should hear this. The Korok are terrified of our Marines." "Terrified?" Jake repeated. "Size doesn't matter if you don't know how to fight," Katie explained. "The Marines are smaller, but faster and smarter. They work together in teams. The Korok don't know how to handle it." Jake listened to the marine communications. He heard Colonel Price directing her troops through Korok ships, like a training exercise. The aliens had never fought anyone who fought back this effectively. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, 700 Korok ships were destroyed or disabled. The remaining 300 tried to retreat, but the human ships were faster and caught many. Grand War Alpha Morik's flagship was damaged and losing power. His communication came through, filled with static and desperation. "This is impossible," he said. "We are the Korok Empire. We have conquered 100 worlds. How can 7 small ships defeat our Grand Fleet?" Admiral Hayes answered calmly. "Grand War Alpha, you made the same mistake as your subordinates who thought we would be afraid of you. Fear is how you control the galaxy," Morik replied. "That's your problem. We don't control through fear," Hayes said firmly. "We protect through strength. There's a difference." Katie looked up. "Captain, I'm getting signals from all over the galaxy. News of this battle is spreading through alien communication networks." Jake asked, "What are they saying?" "Most can't believe what happened," Katie answered. "Some species are asking if the reports are true. Others are asking if humans will help them too." Admiral Hayes nodded. "Captain Morrison, I think we just changed the balance of power in the galaxy."